You played the game brilliantly, now they fear your mind. They thought they had you figured out. They underestimated your silence, mistook your patience for weakness, and laughed when you didn't strike back right away. But what they didn't see was the mind at work behind the scenes, calculating, observing, moving with intention while they moved recklessly. You didn't rush, you didn't stumble, you played the game with brilliance and discipline. And now the tables have turned. Now they're not laughing. Now they're watching you with fear in their eyes, because nothing shakes the ground of the arrogant like realizing the person they dismissed has become the one they can't outthink, can't outmaneuver, and can't control. The silent power of strategy. Life has a way of revealing who is truly in control, not through noise, not through shouting, not through flashy displays of strength, but through the quiet and deliberate moves of strategy. There is a power that cannot be measured by how loud you are or how much attention you command. It is a power that lives in the silence of your planning, in the stillness of your patience, and in the discipline of your execution. This is the power of strategy, and when mastered, it can change the course of your life. You see, many people waste their energy trying to be seen, trying to be heard, trying to dominate every conversation. But the ones who win, the ones who rise, are the ones who move with intention, who let their results speak louder than their words. The world may not recognize it at first, but eventually, even the proudest enemy bows to the brilliance of a mind that plays the game with precision. The silent power of strategy means you do not need to announce your every move. You do not need to broadcast your plan. You do not need to let the world know when you are preparing for something greater. In fact, the less they know, the stronger you become. When you move in silence, you remove their chance to block you. You remove their chance to sabotage you. You remove their chance to prepare against you. And by the time they realize what you were doing, it's already too late. This is why those who underestimate strategy end up blindsided by the results. They thought you were idle, but in reality, you were aligning your next step. They thought you were weak, but in truth, you were building strength behind the curtain. They thought you had nothing to offer, but you were laying the foundation of a victory they could never see coming. Understand this: noise is temporary, but strategy is eternal. People who shout the loudest often have the least to show. They burn out because their energy is wasted on trying to convince others of their power instead of cultivating it. But when you choose to build quietly, your results echo longer than any words could. That is why so many now look at you differently. They used to ignore you, but now they study you. They used to laugh at you, but now they whisper about you. And it is not because you suddenly became someone new. It is because you mastered what they feared most: the ability to outthink, outlast, and outmaneuver without ever having to raise your voice. The beauty of strategy is that it teaches you patience. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, you dared to wait. You dared to build slowly. You dared to trust the process. And because of that, you now stand in a place of strength where others crumbled. Many tried to run ahead too quickly, chasing shortcuts, looking for fast results. They sprinted, but they burned out. You, on the other hand, took one steady step at a time. You positioned yourself correctly. You studied the terrain. You anticipated the traps. And now you walk with the kind of confidence that only comes from knowing you prepared when no one was watching. That is why they fear you now, not because of what you say, but because of what you know. Strategy is not just about winning. It's about winning wisely. Some victories are loud but fleeting, but when you play the long game, your victory is undeniable, sustainable, and untouchable. The enemy can't undo what was built with patience, persistence, and precision. That's why some people try to provoke you. They want you to act impulsively. They want you to lose focus. They want you to step out of character, but those who walk with strategy cannot be baited by cheap tricks. They know when to move, when to wait, and when to strike. And when they do strike, it is with such force and timing that nothing can withstand it. That is the silent power of strategy. There were times when you were overlooked, dismissed, maybe even ridiculed. But instead of arguing back, you chose to prepare. Instead of proving them wrong with words, you chose to prove them wrong with results. And now, the same people who doubted you have no choice but to respect you. They may never admit it, but they feel it, they sense it, they know that your mind has become a weapon sharper than anything they could wield against you, and that is what creates fear. People can handle someone who is loud, they can handle someone who is reckless, but they cannot handle someone who is quiet, deliberate, and unstoppable. Let me tell you this. Every great leader, every great warrior, every great thinker knew the power of silence and strategy. They knew that the loudest room is often the weakest room. They knew that those who run their mouths reveal their positions, while those who stay silent control the battlefield. You see, life is a battle, but it is not always fought with fists. It is fought with vision. It is fought with wisdom. It is fought with clarity of thought. And when you learn to use these weapons, you rise above those who rely only on brute force. That is why your presence now feels threatening to them, because you no longer operate at their level. You are not playing the same game. While they are busy reacting, you are busy creating. While they are busy fighting, you are busy winning. The silent power of strategy is not just about protecting yourself. It is about positioning yourself for greatness. You don't need to compete with everyone. You don't need to prove yourself to everyone. All you need to do is stay aligned with your purpose and let time reveal the wisdom of your decisions. The world respects results, and nothing speaks louder than a life that has been carefully crafted with intention. The victories may not come overnight, but when they come, they will come in abundance. And those who once mocked you will sit in awe of what you built. So hear this. Never underestimate the quiet work you are doing right now. It may not look like much. It may not earn applause today, but it is setting the stage for something greater than you imagine. When you play the game brilliantly, you don't just win, you change the rules, you reshape the board, you force others to play by your rhythm, and that is what terrifies them. Not your strength, not your size, not your noise, but your mind. A mind that is disciplined, focused, and strategic is the greatest weapon you could ever possess. And once you master that, there is nothing in this world that can stop you. Intelligence over intimidation. In a world where many try to dominate with force, aggression, and fear, there is something far greater. Something that cannot be matched by loud voices or clenched fists. It is intelligence. The ability to see through deception, to recognize patterns, to understand motives, and to act with wisdom is the greatest power a person can possess. Intimidation may shake the body, but intelligence pierces the mind. And when people realize they cannot control you, when they realize they cannot scare you, when they realize their tricks no longer work on you, that is when true fear is born. Think about it. Intimidation only lasts as long as you allow it to. People who try to dominate others do so because they lack substance. They lack vision. They lack true strategy. So instead, they try to bully, manipulate, or create fear to keep others small. But the moment you open your eyes, the moment you begin to think for yourself, the moment you refuse to bow down to their pressure, their intimidation loses all its power. Because intelligence gives you clarity, and clarity is freedom. They can no longer use fear to bind you when you understand the game they are playing. That is why intelligence is more dangerous than intimidation. It dismantles the illusion of control. Intelligence allows you to move with purpose, while others move with impulse. The one who relies on intimidation always reacts emotionally. They must shout to feel heard. They must threaten to feel powerful. They must control to feel important. But the one who relies on intelligence doesn't need to raise their voice, doesn't need to flex their muscles, doesn't need to prove anything. Their strength comes from insight, from patience, from knowing that real power lies in understanding what others cannot. And this is why the intelligent outlast the intimidating every single time. The intimidator burns out trying to control others, while the intelligent rises by controlling themselves. The most dangerous person in the room is not the loudest, but the one who listens carefully. It is not the one throwing threats, but the one calculating quietly. It is not the one who demands attention, but the one who observes and prepares. People who depend on intimidation hate intelligence because it exposes them. They can't stand when you refuse to flinch, when you refuse to play their game, when you look them in the eye and see through their mask. Intelligence strips away their power and reveals them for what they are, weak without their tricks. And once you expose weakness, intimidation collapses. Understand this: when you choose intelligence, you are choosing elevation. Intimidation is limited. It only works on those who are unaware. But intelligence lifts you to a level where manipulation cannot touch you. It gives you foresight. It gives you options. It allows you to see 10 moves ahead while others are still fumbling with their first step. That is why some people fear you now. Not because you shouted louder, not because you fought harder, but because you understood deeper. They cannot predict your moves because your wisdom is not reactionary, it is intentional. Intelligence also teaches restraint. Many people confuse strength with constant retaliation, but intelligence knows when to engage and when to walk away. Intelligence knows that not every battle is worth fighting, not every word deserves an answer, and not every insult requires a response. Sometimes the strongest move is silence. Sometimes the greatest display of power is refusing to be dragged into their chaos. Intimidation thrives on reaction. If you give them your anger, they win. If you give them your fear, they win. But when you remain calm, when you stay grounded, when you let your wisdom guide you, they lose every ounce of power they thought they had. The world will try to convince you that intimidation is power. But look at history, look at life itself. Those who ruled through fear eventually fell. But those who led with wisdom, with vision, with intelligence, left legacies that could not be erased. Intimidation creates followers through fear, but intelligence creates leaders through respect. Respect lasts longer than fear. Fear fades the moment the threat is removed. But respect endures because it is earned. But that is why your intelligence frightens those who once tried to intimidate you. They know that respect cannot be forced, it must be deserved, and they cannot take it from you once you've earned it. Let me be clear, choosing intelligence over intimidation doesn't mean you are weak. In fact, it is the opposite. It means you are so strong that you don't need to prove it. It means you can handle yourself without screaming. It means you can carry yourself with calmness while others panic. It means you can walk into a room without demanding attention because your very presence speaks for itself. People who are truly powerful don't need to intimidate. They inspire. And the reason they inspire is because their intelligence guides every step they take. Intelligence also makes you untouchable in ways that physical force never could. Someone stronger than you can overpower you physically. Someone wealthier than you can outspend you. But no one, and I mean no one, can outthink a disciplined, focused, and intelligent mind. A sharp mind sees opportunity where others see obstacles. A sharp mind creates solutions where others complain. A sharp mind creates solutions where others complain. A sharp mind turns losses into lessons and lessons into victories. This is why people fear your mind. They fear it because it is not something they can take from you. They can take your possessions, they can attack your reputation, they can even try to bring you down, but they cannot strip away the wisdom you've gained, the intelligence you've cultivated, the clarity you've earned through experience. Your intelligence is your shield, your sword, and your guide. It protects you from manipulation, it arms you with strategy, it directs your path with wisdom. That is why you must continue to sharpen it, to grow it, to strengthen it daily. Never stop learning, never stop observing, never stop refining your thoughts. Because the sharper your mind becomes, the less anyone can intimidate you. The stronger your wisdom grows, the weaker their fear tactics become. And one day they will realize that their only option is to respect what they cannot control. So remember this, intimidation is a weapon for the insecure. Intelligence is the armor of the strong. Those who depend on intimidation will always crumble when they face someone who cannot be shaken. And that someone is you. You've played the game brilliantly, not because you fought harder, but because you thought smarter. Not because you roared louder, but because you saw clearer. That is why they fear you now. They don't fear your anger. They don't fear your strength. They fear your mind. And once you recognize that, once you embrace it, you'll understand that intelligence will always triumph over intimidation. The game within the game. Life is not just a straight path, and success is not just about the obvious moves you make. There is always a deeper layer, a hidden current, a game within the game. Most people only see the surface. They react to what is in front of them. They chase what looks shiny. They fight over what seems urgent. But the wise, the disciplined, the strategic, they look beneath the surface. They understand that the real victory is not in the first move, not even in the second move, but in the moves that nobody else sees coming. And this is where the difference between average and extraordinary is born. Some play checkers, moving piece by piece without much thought, while others play chess, already 10 steps ahead. And when you learn to master the game within the game, you become unstoppable. The truth is, life is filled with distractions, designed to pull you off course. People will throw noise at you. They will try to provoke you. They will dangle quick opportunities in front of you to keep you from seeing the bigger picture. And many fall for it. They get lost in temporary wins, in shallow battles, in meaningless arguments. They win the moment but lose the war. But you chose differently. Lose the war, you give the word that you chose differently. You chose to see beyond the noise. You chose to keep your eyes on the long-term vision, not just the short-term reward. And because of that, you have separated yourself from the crowd. You are not just playing the game they are playing, you are playing the game within the game. What is the game within the game? It is the art of seeing opportunity where others see obstacles. It is the discipline to stay calm when others are panicking. It is the patience to wait when others are rushing. It is the wisdom to hold back when others are striking blindly. The game within the game is not about brute force. It is about positioning. You don't need to fight every battle because not every battle matters. You don't need to win every argument because not every argument is worth your energy. You know which moves count and you make them with precision. This is why people now fear your mind. Because while they were busy playing on the surface, you were playing at a level they could never touch. Many times, the game within the game requires silence. You don't reveal your plans. You don't announce every move. You don't let them know which direction you're headed. Because the more you keep them guessing, the more control you hold. The ones who play only on the surface give away their entire strategy because they can't stay quiet. They brag, they over-explain, they reveal too much, and that is why they fail. But you moved differently. You let your actions reveal only what you wanted to be seen, while the real strategy unfolded quietly behind the curtain. By the time they realized what you were doing, it was already too late. That is the essence of the game within the game. Winning before they even know the game has begun. You see, the loud players, the ones who try to dominate with noise, often collapse because they think only in the short term. They focus on the applause of the moment, the victory of the day, the attention of the crowd. But you know better. You know that applause fades, that attention shifts, that temporary victories mean little if they do not serve the greater vision. That is why you do not chase recognition, you chase results. That is why you do not rush to be first. You prepare to last. And that is why they now look at you with both respect and fear. Because you are not predictable. You are not easy to read. You are not bound to the shallow patterns they understand. You are playing on a different level entirely. The game within the game also requires resilience. There are times you will appear to lose in the eyes of others, times when it looks like you are being outplayed, times when the crowd thinks you have failed. But what they don't know is that those so-called losses are part of your larger design. You understand that a temporary setback is not defeat, it is positioning. You are willing to sacrifice a pawn to protect the king. You are willing to take a step back if it means launching forward stronger. And this is where most people miss it. They think winning every round is success, but you know that true success is winning the war, not just the battle. And wars are won with patience, with foresight, with strategy that goes deeper than anyone else dares to go. The game within the game also exposes people. When you play on this level, you begin to see who is truly for you and who is against you. You begin to see motives clearly. You begin to notice patterns that others ignore. While they are distracted by words, you are paying attention to actions. While they are caught up in emotions, you are reading intentions. That is why you can no longer be fooled by the same tricks that once worked on you. That is why manipulation fails when it reaches your doorstep. You can see it for what it is before it even takes shape. Intelligence gives you sight, but wisdom gives you vision. And together, they make you untouchable in ways intimidation never could. And let me tell you something. When people realize you are playing the game within the game, they begin to fear you differently. Not the kind of fear that comes from strength or force, but the fear that comes from knowing they can't predict you, can't trap you, can't outthink you. They may try to shake you, but you remain calm. They may try to distract you, but you stay focused. They may try to block you, but you find another path. And that unsettles them, because deep down, they know you are not just surviving, you are orchestrating. You are building something bigger, something greater, something beyond their reach. The reason many people will never understand you is because they are stuck playing the surface game. They only think about today. They only react to what is in front of them. They only chase what is obvious. But you are different. You know that the most important moves are often invisible, that the real victories are built in the dark, that the greatest outcomes come from decisions no one even noticed. That is why your success feels sudden to them, but it is not sudden to you. You've been planning it, you've been working for it, you've been building it one step at a time, while they were distracted. So hear me when I say this. Keep playing the game within the game. Don't let their noise pull you into shallow battles. Don't let their intimidation drag you into meaningless fights. Don't let their distractions blind you from the bigger picture. You are not here to win temporary applause. You are here to leave a permanent mark. And the only way to do that is to keep seeing beyond the obvious, to keep moving with purpose, to keep trusting the process even when others doubt you. Because in the end, those who only played the surface game will fade away, but those who mastered the game within the game will rise above them all. And when that happens, when the results speak louder than their words, when the victories outshine their criticism, when the truth of your brilliance becomes undeniable, they will finally understand why they feared your mind all along, because you were never just playing their game. You were playing a higher one, a deeper one, a game within the game. And in that game, you are already victorious. Respect through results. In this life, you will face people who doubt you, dismiss you, and disrespect you. They will question your every move, laugh at your ambitions, and tell you that you don't have what it takes. Some will try to talk over you, intimidate you, or shut you down. And while they are busy talking, you are busy building. While they are busy judging, you are busy working. While they are busy throwing stones, you are busy laying bricks. And here's the truth. Nothing silences critics like results. You don't need to argue with them. You don't need to beg for their approval. And you don't need to force them to see your worth. Because when the results show up, respect follows. Maybe not willingly, maybe not openly, but undeniably. Respect through results is the purest form of victory because it cannot be faked. Words can be twisted, opinions can be manipulated, lies can be spread, but results stand as truth. You see, the scoreboard doesn't lie. The fruit of your labor doesn't lie. The evidence of your progress doesn't lie. And when your results speak, they speak louder than any insult, any criticism, any attempt to belittle you. That's why results matter. They are your defense, your proof, and your crown. They make even your enemies pause. They force people who doubted you to see you differently. They may not like you, but they cannot deny you. At some point in your life, you realize you don't need to spend energy proving yourself to small-minded people. You don't need to fight with every doubter. You don't need to waste your breath trying to convince those who are determined not to believe in you. Why? Because time has a way of revealing truth, and truth is revealed through results. The same people who once ignored you will have no choice but to acknowledge you when your success becomes too big to overlook. The same people who once mocked you will fall silent when your work starts speaking louder than their laughter. And the same people who once doubted you will whisper your name when your results shine brighter than their doubts. Think about it. How many people in history were laughed at before they were respected? How many were doubted before they were admired? Almost every person who ever achieved something great started with opposition, but they didn't let that stop them. They stayed the course. They kept working when no one was watching. They kept believing when no one else believed. And eventually, their results forced the world to see them differently. That is the power you hold when you keep going, when you stay consistent, when you refuse to quit. Results will fight battles for you that words never could. Now let's be honest, results don't come overnight. They require patience, discipline, and sacrifice. They demand long nights, early mornings, and moments of doubt where you want to give up. That is why so few people ever truly earn respect through results. They are not willing to pay the price. They want instant applause. They want immediate recognition. They want shortcuts. But shortcuts don't bring lasting respect. Respect that lasts is built brick by brick, day by day, through sweat, tears, and relentless determination. And once you earn it, nobody can take it from you. They may try to discredit you. They may try to minimize you. But the results are undeniable. The evidence is there, and evidence silences noise. Respect through results is also about proving yourself to yourself. You don't chase results to impress others. You chase them to remind yourself of what you're capable of. You don't wake up early, work hard, and grind daily just to silence doubters. You do it because you refuse to live below your potential. You do it because you know you are made for more. And when you honor that calling, when you give your best, when you show up consistently, the results will not only earn you respect from others, they will earn you respect from yourself. And that inner respect, that unshakable confidence, is worth more than any applause this world can offer. There will always be people who refuse to give you credit, even when the results are undeniable. That's their pride, that's their insecurity, that's their refusal to admit they were wrong about you. And that's fine, because you don't need everyone's respect. You don't need validation from every person. The right people will see you. The right people will value you. And even your enemies, even if they never admit it, will respect you in silence. Deep down, they know you played the game brilliantly, and that realization eats away at them. But it doesn't matter, because the respect you've earned isn't for them. It's for you. It's for the ones who believed in you. It's for the journey you refused to quit on. The greatest thing about respect through results is that it lasts longer than opinions. People's opinions change with the wind. One day they love you, the next day they hate you. One day they cheer for you, the next day they boo you. But results are not opinions. They are facts, and facts remain. Years from now, when the critics are long gone, your results will still stand as evidence of who you are, what you built, and what you overcame. That's why you should never get distracted by their voices. Focus on building. Focus on growing. Focus on creating results that speak for themselves. When you focus on results, you rise above pettiness. You stop chasing approval. You stop fighting meaningless battles. You stop wasting energy on people who don't matter. You put your head down, you stay consistent, and you let your work be your response. And one day, when your results begin to shine, those same people who once tried to diminish you will have no choice but to recognize you. They won't clap for you in public, but they'll think about you in private. They won't say it out loud, but they'll study your every move. They won't give you credit, but they'll never forget the results you produced. And in the end, that is the sweetest victory. So hear this. Don't get caught up trying to convince people of your worth. Don't waste your breath trying to prove yourself to doubters. Don't let their rejection break you. Keep working, keep building, keep grinding, because the day will come when the results speak so loudly that they drown out every insult, every doubt, every voice that ever tried to silence you. And when that day comes, you will realize you never needed their approval, you only needed your results. Respect through results is the ultimate triumph, because it cannot be denied, cannot be stolen, and cannot be erased. People may try to overlook you, but they cannot overlook your success. They may try to dismiss you, but they cannot dismiss your results. They may try to diminish you, but they cannot diminish the truth of what you've built. So keep going, keep grinding, keep producing, because one day soon, the world will see what you've been building in silence. And when they do, the respect you've been waiting for will not come from their words. It will come from your results. The power of the mind that cannot be shackled. They can touch your reputation. They can try to ruin your name. They can try to whisper lies behind your back, hoping the crowd will believe it. They can strip away money, positions, or the applause of people. They can even try to isolate you, thinking if they remove you from the room, they remove your influence. But here's the truth they never expected. You are not bound by what they can take away, because your real weapon is not in your possessions, not in your titles, not even in the company you keep. Your real weapon is your mind. And no one can chain a mind that has been trained in resilience, discipline, and vision. They cannot stop a thinker who refuses to stop thinking. They cannot imprison the imagination of someone who knows how to see beyond the present moment, and they cannot destroy the resolve of someone who understands that everything taken from them can be rebuilt again, better, stronger, and wiser than before. Your mind is the most dangerous tool you carry. It is sharper than any blade, faster than any scheme, and stronger than any lie. They may plot against you, but if your mind is prepared, their plots will crumble. They may dig a hole for you, but with your mind, you'll see it coming long before you step forward. They may speak curses over you, but with your mind, you can turn curses into fuel. That's why they fear you. Not because of what you have in your hands, but because of what you carry in your head. That's why they can't sleep when you rise in silence. That's why they whisper when you walk into the room. That's why they try to distract you, tempt you, provoke you. Because if they can't touch your mind, they can't control you. Think about it. Armies have fallen because of one brilliant strategy. Empires have collapsed because of one calculated move. Leaders have risen from the ashes because of one unshakable vision. And you stand in that same lineage of power. The brilliance of your mind is not an accident. It was built in the shadows, sharpened through your struggles, and tested by fire. Every setback you endured forced you to think smarter. Every betrayal pushed you to see clearer. Every closed door made you search for another way out. While others drowned in despair, you trained your mind to adapt, to rise, to keep moving. And now, when they see you, they don't just see a person, they see a force they can't predict, a strategy they can't counter, a resilience they can't break. That's why you must guard your mind like a fortress. Don't let them plant seeds of doubt in your soil. Don't let their gossip rewrite the truth you know about yourself. Don't let their intimidation weaken your resolve. If you want to remain unstoppable, you must keep your thoughts disciplined. You must protect your focus as if it's gold. Because here's the truth. Your greatest battle will never be with them. It will always be within yourself. If your mind is strong, nothing they throw at you can destroy you. But if your mind crumbles, even the smallest attack can feel like defeat. When you refuse to let fear dominate your thinking, you become unstoppable. When you silence the voice of self-doubt, you rise above. When you decide that your destiny is not determined by their opinion, you become untouchable. That's why your enemies can't figure you out. They attack your body, but your spirit keeps moving. They attack your reputation, but your purpose keeps speaking. They attack your peace, but your vision stays alive. They can never win against a mind that refuses to bow. You are not just surviving, you are outthinking, outlasting, and outmaneuvering everything thrown against you. They tried to corner you, but you turned the corner into a pathway. They tried to silence you, but you learned to speak with your actions. They tried to make you doubt yourself, but you turned doubt into fuel. That's the brilliance they fear, because no matter how they play the game, you keep rewriting the rules, and that is what terrifies them most. They can't predict you, they can't break you, they can't box you in. So stand tall with that knowledge. Walk with the confidence that your mind is a weapon no one can disarm. Don't waste time proving yourself to small thinkers. They wouldn't understand the level you're playing on. Don't waste energy trying to explain yourself to those who only want to see you fail. Keep building, keep creating, keep thinking at a level that makes them uncomfortable. Because the truth is, the higher you rise in brilliance, the more their fear will expose them. They will talk louder, plot harder, and act bolder, but it will all be in vain. Because no weapon formed against a disciplined mind can prosper. Your brilliance is your crown. Your vision is your armor. Your discipline is your shield, and your resilience is your sword. Keep walking the path. Keep playing the game. Keep thinking on a level they can't reach. Because at the end of the day, they don't truly fear your success, they fear your mind. The one thing they cannot steal, cannot copy, and cannot destroy. That is your eternal advantage.